We're live. We're live. This is gonna be the least jankiest stream ever. All right. Did it even? Did the stream even start? There's a small chance the stream didn't even start. I have to check.
That's awesome.
No, we're live. Encore is here. He says, yo, hello. Bruh is here. He also says hello, hello. I'm going to add the people. Hi, hello, mine 13 Zoom. Silverstonely, yo, hi, hello. No face cam this stream, boys. Sorry about that. Why? Oh, wait. On my stream, it's because I cropped Discord. They can see whatever. It just got up. Dude. Whenever I went to go post the announcement in the Discord, it just...
Nice. Oh, that's funny.
Hello, everybody.
Like a button, it changes.
Oh, man. Let's hope to God we don't fucking forget what we were just talking about. So we can talk about it for the stream.
That'll be fine.
What is this shitty ass picture that Notion put on your notes?
Oh, I put that there. I just looked up nodes and
Okay.
clicked on the first option. Hang on. Yeah, I can use
Hello, everybody. W stream, yeah, for real. Oh, listen, if there's one thing that's for certain, it's that Raven is one of the most professional organizations there is. Oh, more professional than Microsoft. Did you see the stream about did you see the video Microsoft posted where he's like trying to use Copilot to resize text?
Wait, who? What? Hang, say that again. That didn't process in my brain.
Did you see the Microsoft video they made where they were trying to show off Copilot and he was like trying to change text? He was trying to change the text size.
Ugh.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god, it's so amazing. He's like, what do I do next? It takes several seconds to respond, and it like it navigates to the settings for him, and he's like, huh, what do I set my size to make the text bigger? And it's like, how about you try 150%? It was already on 150%, so he was just like, let's, and then he clicks 200%. It's so stupid.
I'm setting a bunch of references.
Honestly, we're about on par professionalism-wise with Microsoft, I'd say. Just in different ways. How's Alternet going? Why don't you ask Homework? Homework, how's Alternet going?
It's going well. I've got like ideas for how to do implementation using not like without reinventing the wheel.
And we have notes and concepts and a really shitty Figma flowchart.
Hey man, I don't remember how to do flowcharts. It's been years. I did them in uni, and I was in uni 5 years ago. So,
okay. Look, I'll go ahead. We got a lot to talk about. Me and him were discussing actually right before the stream was going to start, and we were like, "Wait, we should talk about this live because it would actually be like." That's exactly what the stream is for. Okay, what were we talking about before? We were talking, you mentioned, no, subdomains, you mentioned that later. Let's talk about that later, actually, but we were talking about the possibility of, like, TLDs, right? That's what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I was originally thinking we wouldn't have TLDs, but then you were saying we already kind of have a system, though, like, as far as separation goes of the...
Yeah, for like referencing subdomains to parent domains. So you don't actually need.
Oh, you're talking about subdomains. I'm talking about TLDs here.
I mean, it's just part of the name. It's just the name of the address that you're mapping to. It's just like the name is then hashed, and then that's like that's used as like part of the address.
So what have you done today, everyone? Well, we got in a call, and then we were like, God, we're the most professional organization.
Let's turn my schizo notes into flowcharts.
Listen, Raven will be oh
then-
my god, I just realized by the day that Raven finally registers as an LLC, whenever we can finally get that figured out, nothing's gonna change professionalism wise. It's still just gonna be
professionalism is a myth.
professionalism is a myth. It's a marketing stunt.
People prefer
Okay.
it when you're genuine, honestly. It's like more trustworthy. almost.
So how do you want to start the stream? What do you want to talk about first? Should I show them the Notion thing?
I'm currently just formatting a little bit. It's a little fucked
Okay.
right now.
Oh, you
Like
are cleaning up the formatting. Okay. It is okay. The fucking image is so shit. I'm gonna show them.
I can always change it to my board meeting photo.
I'm gonna show them. So this is what Homework shared with me. Actually, Homework wrote this. He said, so alternate architecture. This is kind of because me and Homework were talking, and I was telling him we need to kind of have some we need to have some kind of concise idea to at least start working off of. We need a plan. We need at least like a basic beginning to kind of get a general idea of what we're gonna do. The general shape of the protocol, then we'll iron out the details. So, as far, do you want to walk us through the notes, actually?
Okay, so it's essentially just like the first like bit of the note, like section at the top of the notes. Should I be screen sharing this, or are you screen sharing?
Screen
this?
sharing would probably be a good idea. Screen sharing would probably be a good idea.
Actually, my Notion just crashed.
And hold on, it's gonna look so bad on stream. Okay.
Oh god, this UI sucks.
I will just. our DMs are very professional, chat. Okay, why don't you go ahead and show me this? So.
Well, I fixed up the cover, so it's a bit more cultured. So we got the Alternet.
Wait, there's no way in hell you. Oh Jesus, we're most okay. Carry on.
Okay. So decentralization. No, like the whole idea of Alternet is we don't have no centralized control. All the peers and nodes will self-organize using a distributed hash table for discovery and CJNS style source routing. I'm considering if we should use CJDNS or not because implementing it in Rust is kind of cursed. You either have to like re-implement functionality of it because it's written in C.
Are you writing a POC in Rust or are you writing it in Go?
Go. I'd probably do it in Go because it might. Oh, Rust has so much fucking good functionality though, and it's such a nice language. I'll probably use Rust because it looks like it's just TypeScript basically. That's what that language is. If you ever use TypeScript, learning Rust is really easy. So
CJDNS, what's the caveats with CJ? I remember we talked about this.
It's written in C. It's written in C, and I have to use C bindings or rewrite parts of its functionality. But the benefit is that it supports
Yeah, splitting up the traffic and then combining at the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you said that was just quick. Is that specifically CJDNS?
CJDNS can do things like that. Hang on, multi-hop DNS, routes for data routing, like the actual routing itself through higher bandwidth nodes.
Okay.
We'll graph a path, selecting optimal ones using heuristic highest bandwidth to hop ratio. You can do this within CJDNS. Until they get the performance to like high speeds. It's really cool.
We need Alternet. US is introducing digital ID. Also, Wisconsin and Michigan are banning VPNs outright. Are they actually banning VPNs outright? I did not hear about that.
Set up a VPS. Or not even a VPS. Just go to, if you know anyone in a different state, just ask them to get a Raspberry Pi and run WireGuard and just connect through their network.
You actually could just... How the fuck is that enforceable? How do you enforce a VPN ban? That's just saying shit. You can't enforce that.
They get all the public IP addresses of all the VPN providers and their data center.
But then how do you deal with VPSs? How do you deal with proxies? How do you deal with it?
Well, they can't. They would only be like commercial VPNs that you subscribe to. Like, because the problem with that is that you'd run into a lot of businesses and industries use VPNs for site-to-site access. Like,
dude, actually, VPNs are more than just like evading censorship. It's actually like I VPS into servers to do work. Like you're banning that.
Yeah, and it's like SSO sign-on that only I can access, and it's got like IAM management. It's a lot. I think they would just probably ban commercial VPNs, or if they're actually dumb, they're going to cripple the industry, and it's going to be
Hello,
hilarious.
VGB18. Xenoflares in the chat.
Again,
Bold of you to assume the government is smart enough to think of that. They are not.
That's true.
They don't know what the fuck that... Dude, government officials have no fucking clue how technology works. It is laughable. It is so funny. I just see poor fucking Matt Pat up there trying to explain the YouTube ecosystem. It's so All right, let's get back on topic. So we already discussed the distributed hash table idea, right? In the last stream, I think we did. And then so as far as discovery would go, what's just lay out the concept in simple terms. Discovery, how would discovery work?
So we still got to figure out a way, like this is like the first step of discovery is the most kind of cursed, because we have to figure out a way for a node when it joins the network to discover peers. Like, does it like if it can't query other nodes because it doesn't know they exist or know what their addresses are, so we have to use like some sort of like pre-configured list of potential, like a it's like a dot well known in like
that sounds like a single point of failure to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, there's like maybe there's a way we can use like records on like a kind of like a blockchain or not. I don't know. And it like it queries
if
that
we
system.
Did do some kind of blockchain thing, like that actually could be possible, I think, could it not?
Yes. I have ideas for how to do that, and
because blockchain is like everyone has like technically like a local copy of the blockchain, right? And then it like
you wouldn't be connecting to it as a blockchain node. You'd be connected. The blockchain would be its own separate system, so we don't have to worry about processing congestion on the actual network. It'd be like a separate layer almost, and that just stores a list of like the most trusted and like not trusted nodes, but like nodes that are performant, have a good uptime, good ratings by users, or like people connecting through the network. Ones that are consistently, it dynamically updates based on routing and traffic and transactions. And then when a new node starts up, it connects through an API to talk to that blockchain, kind of like how wallets connect and talk. You don't actually have to run the node on the server itself.
Is that so, kind of list... God, that is such a tricky fucking problem, dude. And no wonder, because the way Tor does it is horrible. The way like pretty much everything does it is horrible, and that's just because there is no right answer, really.
Well, that's why I was saying you have like a well-known list of public key addresses distributed on like separate federation protocols or blockchain, or within the software. So like within like the like there could be like a page you go to, and it's just like an updating list of nodes in the network, and then you just grab a bunch of addresses and throw them in. And they're just like hashes, essentially, like seeds. And it establishes quick connections to those seeds and issues the find node RPC with its own ID.
Wait. So it establishes a quick connection to the seeds,
to the seed nodes with an RPC call, and then it uses its own identifier as a target for those nodes. So we can like recursively check for nodes with a lower distance to itself ping-wise. So it finds all the nodes closest to it network conditions-wise, right? And then each contacted node responds with a list of like 20 of its closest known contacts, each with their like addresses and optional metadata like supported transports if they're connecting through like a different network potentially, or like in adverse network conditions, ping.
That just doesn't sound great, because the only problem is, I mentioned it before, but like, you know how much noise, I guess you could say, that would generate in the protocol? How much like in the network, I meant?
Well, it's still over 443, so it would just look like regular traffic.
I know, and when but it's like...
we could even tricky. We could probably drop this down or figure out a way to do it like over like a batch query. So like, for example, it would send one request out to the closest nodes with its target ID.
Because if you start, then the entire idea is, I'm joining the network, so I'm going to scream to the high fucking heavens, "Hey, everybody, look at me!" It's like, like that's kind of my concern.
Like, my idea is that we're building the hash table, like the hash, like once the node is aware of like optimized contacts in its like neighborhood, it then store and caches that on the node, and it's just addresses. It's just like fucking IPv6 addresses and extra metadata that might be available. So if it's like a query comes in, it's like I need high
Stop.
bandwidth. It just does that.
Stop real quick. You guys know what we gotta do? You guys know what we gotta do? Hold on. Guys, you know what we gotta do? I totally fucking forgot. I totally forgot to do this because I am just the greatest at my job. I am just I am just so amazing at this.
But also, this process will only take a couple of seconds in a healthy network and is resilient to seed failures.
Winzard has some kind words for you. He said he is just making shit up.
I'm not making shit up.
How would you like to respond to that?
I'm thinking about I can see it in my head, but I'm really bad at describing things. If that makes sense. Like I don't know, that's why the flowchart's important.
The notion isn't public, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
You can just copy the link and send it to people.
So I could just show them the notion, I could just send them the notion. Okay. I don't think it would be a good idea to.
They can't comment on it or anything. I don't think.
Active members of the Eagle tier, and then of the Raven tier.
I can tell commenting if you.
Fellas, we got some people I gotta shout out, because at the start of every alternate stream now I'm going to be shouting out the names of these people. And I totally forgot because I'm supposed to do it at the start of these streams. And my stupid ass did not, in fact, we're doing it now. It's still the start of the stream. We're only 60 minutes in. Okay. Thank you to CPB34. That dude's pretty cool. Bob KD, Grim. I'm just gonna say Grim. Thank you, Grim. Tyler Pruden, thank you. Michael. I think that, I don't know how you'd say that, Michael. Normified, thank you. A Clippy, nice. They're both Clippies. Starry Sky, one of our long-term donators, has been donating for quite some time, so thank you, Starry. And then Zach, also a long-time donator. Thank you, Zach. Thank you to all of these people. Thank you for donating. They donate with the monthly tier, the Eagle tier or the Raven tier. And they're pretty much single-handedly, like, those people really help out with us being able to do all the extra shit that we do, like even the Raven search. By the way, this Raven search is cool. Oku kind of cooked. But yeah, so thank you all the donators. Hold on, I'm gonna read chat for a moment. Apparently my province is suing online kids games because they gather children's personal data. I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah, also like another like just off-topic thing for the moment. I looked into the like technical documentation for Australia's digital ID because the way they're doing it is like you have to become like an accredited organization to provide digital ID services. So mostly right now it's just government services, but they have the documentation on how to implement it. And it's fucked. So basically you have your ISP, which is Identity Service Provider, not internet service, but Identity Service Provider. Okay. And that's that communicates to the government's systems over an OpenID Connect API. And you have to be like fully like you go through like so many fucking checks, like court checks, criminal checks, so many background checks to get access to run one of these services. But essentially, it's what users use to like upload it like on a phone or like client. They basically like type in their personal like driver's license information, then it goes to through the government and verifies to see if that's true, and then returns a response. And then so that's your ISP, and then you have your IXP, which is your identity exchange provider, which is like the application you use to fill in all that information. And the ISP will generate a digital ID, like general purpose ID. And then your IXP has to then assign that to an account, like its own like sub account. And that can be like your
The
your
government
application.
loves two things: over engineering and applying as much trust to as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many
Yeah,
layers of trust in that system, it's laughable.
yeah, and it's all done over OAuth 2, like communicating between the platforms and OIDC. OpenID Connect 1.0. But like I read through the documentation, it's cursed. It's all abbreviated, so I had to like have the
Oh, that's
glossary up
so
next to it.
terrible. Are
And
these
then
nodes
so you have
public
you
or
have your
will
app.
they be? Okay, hold on. I should probably actually like.
But then what you would do is you would have
I should probably hold on.
fuck, what's the word I'm looking for?
Here you go. Here you guys
Oh
go.
shit, I can't think.
God, this is so perfect.
Oh
Why
my
is there a
god, brain.
spider on the wall?
Hey man, Australia. It's an Australian board meeting. It's an Australian board meeting. What do
So
you mean?
bootstrapping, the nodes would join the mesh without prior knowledge of the peers, and then your idea is some kind of list of seed nodes. The hard-coded list is a terrible idea. Seed
Yeah, I know.
nodes
That's just there.
on a separate protocol within the
some
software. It establishes a quick connection to these issues. A fine node RPC. RPC. I am very smart. RPC.
remote process communication, fairly
Okay.
simple. Might be correct though.
And then its own I told you about my morning, how I slept. This allows me to find allows it to find nodes at the lowest sort distance to itself. And then 20 interactively queries these closer nodes populating around its buckets and has a stable view of the network. Why is 100 to 200 considered stable?
Because then if like a node goes down, it's like, okay, it like knows how to get there because it knows its address and it knows how to route to
Once
it.
bootstrapped, the node announces
Right.
itself by storing its address under its ID via store RPCs.
To the nearest nodes around it, so then those nodes are then made aware of the node that's starting up, so they can then talk to it in the like both directions. Essentially, there's probably a way we can optimize this to make it so it's all done in like maybe 1 or 2 calls. Well, this is just 2 calls basically. It just runs.
The whole idea
As
of just shouting out to the high fucking heavens, "Hey, I'm here now," and then everyone's like, oh, "Okay." I don't know.
well,
It's just
I was
like,
using Meshtastic as a reference for like trustless node registration, and that's how it does it. You like connect a device, it like goes, okay, hello.
Meshtastic. Meshtastic.org.
Yeah, it's a lower WAN LoRa device
The
network.
main goal of the project is enabling low power, long range communication over ISM radio bands. What?
So like for 915 in Australia, I think it's 800 and something in the US. LoRa bands. So like,
Operates at. Do not require a license to use. It's designed around exchange. So you're planning to use this.
no. I used it as a design reference.
You're using it as a design, right? Okay.
Like of how they set up a new when a new node is introduced to like a mesh net, like a mesh of nodes.
So there's like a graph that explains this. This graph. Okay.
But your seed nodes are just like a couple of addresses that'll just like boop, and then if they're down, it can self-adjust using the chain, like the blockchain. Like if a node goes down, it would like send a message up saying, "Oh, I'm down." And that would delete that. It would like overwrite that record with a value. Smart contracts are kind of terrible in most cases because to replace a smart contract, you have to redeploy it, and that costs money. But the old smart contract doesn't get removed, so then you have to update all these. It's annoying. Unless we're using the
Yeah, what
joint
does
accumulation.
okay, so is that like that would be like a caveat of blockchain.
Well, it depends on the chain. So if we use a polychain like Polkadot, we don't really run into these issues as much. And it's cheaper to run. And then you have the joint accumulation machine, which is essentially like it allows you to compile like Rust. You have to use Rust, like unfortunately, but it compiles to RISC-V instead of WebAssembly as like a target. So you almost get like native performance, but it allows you to run code distributed on a network. So it's like running VPSs, but your VPS is on a distributed network, and it allows you to run asynchronous code doing like logic and like handling state as well. And then it writes the state of the entire machine.
I have an idea. Why don't we just delete the internet?
Yeah. Or how about we just set up big Wi-Fi routers with giant high gain antennas and break every law into in
Why don't we just like shut down every ISP? Like we just Like, guys, it's over.
Well, explode. Just set off a nuke in the upper atmosphere and EMP all your infrastructure. Done. Problem solved.
Yeah.
But then if you go down, you got like
resolving human
resolving.
readable name, DNS replacement. Node A wants to connect to example mesh. Messaging DHT functionality. The node would compute the key as hash. We're not using SHA-1.
No, that was an example. I fucking use whatever you want. We can use whatever we want.
Whatever AI you use to generate your notes.
I didn't use AI to generate my notes.
Yeah, I know.
I just used SHA-1 a lot when we were generating the image, like the so when we're doing Docker.
This
Docker
is
file
more
stuff.
than 120 words and it has periods at the end. It's AI.
No, I just like my grammar. I like being able to read and not. If you've seen how I type messages. What do you mean?
Yes. Dude, I remember I wrote like a paragraph once. I wrote like 2 paragraphs. And the dude I wrote it to was like, dude, that's AI generated. It was like, why? It was like, it's too good.
Remember that list of skills that I sent you that I know how to do, and I spent like a full 2 hours writing it out, and it's like
I remember watching. I was like eating something, and I was just sitting there watching the homework is typing for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, bro. 80, that's crazy.
So it performs a find value. You mentioned that up there. Query nodes, check if they store the value. If not, blah, blah, blah. This is just repeating yourself. The value retrieved is a signed record containing a target's public key, current address, and optional metadata. Node A verifies the signature against the owner's public. God, I'm gonna need like a visual representation of this, I think, to fully understand it. I'm a bit confused about this.
Okay.
So use a quick connection, bypass routing. So, okay, let me ask you this. I'm assuming you just haven't gotten there yet, but have you put any thought to how any of this is going to blend in with typical HTTPS traffic?
So, fuck. Because the problem with HTTPS traffic is once it's encrypted, it's just fucking encrypted packets. I haven't looked at like Wireshark because they use TLS, and it's if I understand correctly, for most internet traffic, and we're going to be using Quick, and that's going to show up on a firewall.
Yeah, Quick is not quiet.
No, but it's fast and it's reliable. So
which
we could like
concern.
Because the first to establish a quick connection, you have to first send out a standard request and then upgrade to it like any other socket. So like your outgoing connection would be, oh hi, I need this, and then you would open up a socket and connect like in beats and whatever. To send that because it's a UDP socket. And what we want is speed, not slowness. We don't want Tor, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And Tor is also fucking so noisy.
Tor is noisy as shit. That's 2 things I hate about Tor. One, it is not like hidden in the slightest to a network operator, and 2, the network is full of noise. It is the noisiest shit ever. There's so much chatter all around the network.
So yeah, basically when it's like trying to find the node, it'll just like scan its peers, because that's the only data it stores on the peers, is like it just stores their addresses, and it just goes and asks them like, hey, do you have this record? Yes, you do. Cool. And then sends it. And the beauty of that is like once like if a node is aware of a record and then an update happens, it receives that update, because the node that like when you set up a node like on a web server, right? Because it's technically what you'd be doing. It's aware when it like propagates out an address, it communicates to all of its peers that it has stored of that change. So when your client is like, oh hey, I need this, the nodes, like if an address change happens, they update via replication.
So let me ask you this. Or actually, this isn't. I don't know why I said let me ask you this. I'm not even going to ask you anything. So we have news to share. Actually,
what's the news?
You don't know the news that you're about to share. Crazy. So this is. I remember I was talking publicly before mentioning the possibility that we might bring on another guy to the team. Me and Homework have talked about it. And it is confirmed. We are bringing on another guy to the Alternet team. So it's going to be homework also working. It's going to be homework working on this, but now we're bringing on another guy who's going to be joining homework and co-building this with him. And
to throw my ideas out.
yeah. So you're still going to remain the lead developer of Alternet, but then the other guy would just be a developer of Alternet.
Mm.
Now, homework is actually, I put homework in charge of finding the guy he wants to work with, because he also, homework has connections with people who actually like know their shit. So he's going to be bringing on someone else too. We're going to be bringing on someone else to the team soon to also be helping with Alternet. Now, I would really like to find someone who has experience with networking, especially, but then, of course, but then also if they have any experience with like cryptography and stuff, I would love to bring on someone who.
Oh, I know a guy that knows a lot about cryptography, a lot about Rust.
You have a systems architecting kind of background and stuff, but having someone who's like networking, you know, like just full on about networking would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So. How long do you think it'll take to find that guy? Because you already have a guy in mind, right?
I have a guy in mind that can help with like algorithmic shit, specifically, like optimizing algorithms, keeping things fast and secure, specifically with cryptography. But yeah, and networking, not so sure, but there's a lot you can do with documentation and just like sources and seeing how other people do things. A lot of solutions that are source, they have a fuckload of information on how this shit works.
Well, because also even an important kind of idea here is that we should not be trying to reinvent the wheel.
No, of course not. Which is why I was looking at existing mesh networking solutions like CJDNS, which is good. Like you could almost use it as you could almost like run a CJDNS instance as the mesh network, and then you have DHT on top of that to handle your
Because here's the thing, I hear so many people, they're like, "Oh, you're just kind of gluing shit together or whatever," and it's like, is that a bad thing?
Yeah, that's what half of software engineering is. What do you mean? That's what architecture is. Like, it's a bunch of things.
Have you ever seen web dev? But no, that's
I worked in backend.
Like.
Gluing shit together.
Half of, if we start from scratch every single time with every project, then we're always going to be at the like, you know what I'm saying? If there's never going to be true like progression. If someone starts at the very beginning, builds up, then you take their foundation, build further, and then you go farther with it. That's just.
Well, I learned that the hard way at work, at like doing backend stuff, because we tried to do everything ourselves. And like, you know, it just fucking fell apart.
Raven kind of had that philosophy early on too, and that it is not great.
And then we were like, hang on a second, how do other like you know, backend systems work at scale? And then we just like looked at the AWS documentation and said, yeah, we have the money, let's just fucking use that shit. And we went from like on the client side, like the client like tries to run an operation. We went from like the fucking page taking forever to respond to like almost instantaneous updates because we did a like parallel.
Don't know when I'll be able to say this, so here it goes. I have an issue with the name Alternet. When you look it up, there are several, which makes it hard for the project to gain traction. The name is good and fits, but that is my issue. I have actually looked into the name before we went with the name. And as far as I'm aware, there actually isn't too much named Alternet. One thing that is named Alternet is apparently some like right-wing news site that's like pretty small. I actually don't think there's going to be any problem with project traction or anything like that.
Unless we get a cease and desist for taking their name, but you know, I doubt.
Oh, man, fucking cease and desist an open source project for having a fucking name.
Yeah, exactly. Fair point. But
cease and desist my balls.
It's like how Flock Safety sent a guy that discovered a bunch of exploits in their system a cease and desist for using the name deflock because they thought it was like terroristic or something. Like he's like, you know, what did he say? He was like, it's a risk to our safety if people know the locations of these cameras.
Yes, the deflock me say, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a left-leaning news outlet. Yeah, oh, it's a left-leaning one. Yeah, well, the leaning doesn't fucking matter. At this point, just name it. Yeah, fair enough. All right, thanks for clarifying. Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good. Alternate dream or hope. What does that even mean?
Did you know that Flock Safety runs their cameras on Android 8?
Yes, I did. I saw the whole thing
The
about
Ben
that.
Jordan
Yeah.
video. The Ben Jordan video.
Yeah.
I was like,
Ben
when he
Jordan
said that, my
cooking.
jaw dropped. My jaw dropped. I was like, no fucking way they're using Android.
I was so
8, bro.
not shocked
Oh my
at
God.
all because
Oh,
it's
corporate
just
cost
so
cutting. I love it.
that's just so perfect. It is
What was that,
actually
like
just a
100
really
hundreds of
shit Android
notes?
phone. That is all it
running
is.
Android 8, which hasn't had security updates in what, like 5 years.
This is a question
Um,
for you. What do you think? Is Alternet dream or hope?
Hope, honestly, because Tor sucks. It's slow. You can't really do anything other than look at static web pages, which is fine for some things, like if you're trying to access like content in a restricted region, or you're trying to journal or trying to post.
Tor is good for what it's made for, but it is not made to be a replacement to the regular web.
And it's old as fuck. But
well,
yeah,
I don't even see that as a bad thing. It's just the fact that it's you're taking it. Tor was made with a specific idea and purpose in mind, and then people try to use it for something it's not made for. So it's just like,
yeah, or like we can't really use I2P either because
I2P is made for what? Isn't I2P made for file storage?
File sharing and
file sharing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I2P is like made for. So that doesn't even work.
What we're trying to do is like build a replacement to
the standard
domain name
typical web. Yeah, the regular web. I want to be able to have youtube.com, but like you should be able to have a streaming site on Alternet, which you can't do on Tor, and as far as I'm aware isn't really feasible on I2P, unless I'm wrong.
But the way it would work is it's like a network, a mesh network, essentially, of all these nodes that communicate with each other. Your client, which can be like a browser extension or a custom browser, which is a pain in the ass to build, or something, or like
very
like
likely just gonna have a browser extension,
or like a if we use Dioxys to build the which is a Rust full stack framework. And just give me a sec, let me explain. To build like a client application.
Android Oreo and the Big 25 is in Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, we would use like create like a client application that works similar to how like a VPN works, where you split tunneling to expose Alternet to your device, so you can use it on a web browser, or you can then like run it on your router and access it from your phone without having to run any software on your phone. I don't know how we would do it, but like give options. Allowed to be run in a Docker container, so you can run it on a Raspberry Pi. I don't know, but essentially, you would you run your request to the the Alternet protocol.
You can stop streaming, by the way.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had that open. You'd run a request to the Alternet protocol.
Wait a second, stream again, and then keep it just on that page, even though hold on. Wait, I can make this stream so much less janky now. Yes, straight the streamer. Yes. Okay, wait. If you stop streaming, what happens?
What do you mean?
Just. No. Okay, stream again.
Oh, I know what you're doing. Yes. Popping your ass. Good idea.
The stream doesn't look like shit anymore.
Woo!
God, this is terrible. Okay.
Oh well, it is what it is. My webcam's not working. You can blame.
Hey, listen, I'm not even worried. We don't have to be professional. We just have to make something.
You have to be consistent.
I'm not worried about being corpo professional. Fucking Raven's never been brand friendly. All right, Raven has never been brand friendly. We've always just been. Yeah, I'd rather be real than be brand friendly. I mean, this shit started with me sitting in my fucking bedroom on my Optiplex PC. It still is like that, actually.
No, my
just went dead silent.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So like for example, when your client, which is your browser extension, client device, network connection, whatever, connects to Alternet and you're on a request, that request is then propagated out into the network. It tries to locate using its closest nodes. I don't know how we're going to do like node discovery from the client. That's going to be annoying. Maybe we use similar to like bootstrapping and then install like you cache like most like recently seen based on distance. And then that request is then propagated throughout the network once it finds its target location, figures out the most efficient, like it figure out the most efficient route to the target, bounce that traffic around. Maybe we'll have a configuration option to amount of hops you can have set. So the more hops it takes, the slower it gets. But I had this idea for high bandwidth nodes. So like people running a node on like high like bandwidth internet. So if you're running it at home and you have gigabit or 10 gigabit network, or you're running it in a data center and you have access to like hundreds of gigabits of fucking network traffic, like bandwidth. I can't speak right now. I'm tired, but you could the traffic would get split up and sent over in parallel across multiple nodes and then reconstructed at the end. So you could have like a high bandwidth stream. So someone's like streaming on Alternet. You could have that stream be sent over like 6 different concurrent channels and then reconstructed just before it hits your device, which would do a couple of things. It would reduce strain on the network. One, because you're now got all of your nodes are now running at like an average. It's load balancing, yes. So if a node's busy, it can, defer traffic if it needs to. Ensuring like high availability of the network and keeping it resilient to huge amounts of shit running through it. Makes it harder to like almost DDoS too. Because if like someone sends a lot of traffic to a high availability node, it can just go like, it can either drop the packet or just be like, okay, let's just give it to 50 other nodes and see what happens. Could be really interesting. And also, I guess that also, in a way, helps with obfuscation because now if you've got like
anonymization,
you have like pieces of packets running through separate servers essentially.
Only potential concern there is obviously tampering by a malicious
node. We could use that is true, but the beauty of the system that I want to design is that if you're similar to Meshtastic, when you send a message to a device on the Meshtastic network, the nodes that propagate that data never see the data's like value because it can only be decrypted by the target that you're sending it to.
Well, yes, that would of course be the design, but what if I just send encrypted data? That's just bad.
Well, that's where validation comes in handy, and I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but something similar to WireGuard probably. Where it's like only this like
these kinds of details are going to need to work out a little better.
Yeah, we have to like actually like flesh that out. I'm just trying to get a high level overview of architecture.
I think that's how just making general YouTube clones, making specific social media tailored to specific niches, like forum sites back in the day, like YouTube for car guys specifically, for example. Dude, I miss those days. I want that back.
Yeah, I mean, that could be like an ecosystem thing.
I actually used to love the like separation like that, like why everything is in one place and it kind of sucks.
Monopolies.
I actually dislike everything being in a single place. Like even just organization purposes, it's just nicer. It's more organized to have my shit in like its respective spots, Product is now 5 more currency for a profit of more. Literally just explaining how the internet works, says crazy mad scientist. Sort of. No, not really. Sort of. No. Because the internet's the current internet's extremely centralized.
Yes.
You run through your singular ISP.
Unless you set up 50 Wi-Fi routers all running the Batman protocol and you can just get it completely around it. But that's a lot of fucking effort.
Should the digital world become fully decentralized? Well, yes, that's this project, yes.
Well, the early internet was extremely decentralized, but then because the government was like, we want to fucking spy on you, they made it centralized.
The web started pretty decently decentralized, yeah. But then it just got built up into what it is now. And it's when it comes to the modern age and shit, you can't have a single point of failure like that. You can't have centralization like that, a single authority.
Has an outage and everything goes out.
There's no such thing as trust in a singular authority when it comes to digital systems. And the reason why is because there's always either a hack with maybe malicious actors break into it. There's always going to be corruption. There's always going to be there's always going to be a bad actor somewhere. That's kind of that whole idea of like, if you've ever heard the buzzword term of zero trust architecture or whatever, like you can't just fucking blindly go, oh, okay, this person's a good person. You have to actually set shit up where it's, you can't just have these single points like that, because you got to think the current web right now is so fucking fragile. The current web is so fragile. AWS US East 1 goes down and the entire half the fucking web is down. Or like a Cloudflare goes down and like 4/5 of the entire web is down. Or like, could you imagine if what?
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like if a DNS registrar or service or server, DNS server goes down, you can't access the site you want to access.
Exactly.
And then also you're then beholden to that registrar's terms of service, and if they deem your site to be an abuse of something, like it might even just be like a political view, or
exactly.
not even that. It can be the most minor shit. Like if you get mass reported for something, you can just get your DNS revoked, and then
exactly. You can have a website, and you can make a website just to try to state your political views or whatever. And if the TLD, the authority behind the TLD, just doesn't like the cut of your jib, then they can just revoke it. It is bad.
The downside to providing architecture like this is it allows for abuse, but that's the cost of
freedom. Cost of freedom.
Yeah.
I would rather live in a world where there's like, there's people who say things I don't like or whatever, and there may be some abuse, but like it's the cost of being able to be free. That's just freedom for you. Yep. Freedom is chaotic. That's just reality.
Oh yeah, I was explaining the Australian Digital ID system with then there's a third component, right? A third component to this whole system, which
the
is
ADHD is crazy.
Yes, fuck me. It's the principal relying party, like reliant party, which is like your social media site when you sign in with your digital ID, which is how they're going to do it. So you'll have like an app on your phone that is in control of all of your social media accounts, and you use it to sign into everything. And the data that you have to share is your full name, so your full legal name. Your email address has to be verified. Your phone number has to be verified. You have to provide your date of birth, but then the relying party can't access any of your identity documents. Only the provider of the like exchange, which is like the application you use. And right now they're all owned by the government, which is still fucking hella dystopian. But I found a bunch of footnotes at the bottom of the documentation that's like you can implement your own protocol specification, and you don't have to share that data if you figure out a way to talk to an identity service provider and you provide them the right details. So in theory, you can make a fully client-side app that just talks to the government API with like the proper communication and encryption and public key transfer, private fucking cryptography. And then the IXP would just be like, yes, this person is over 18 for this account. Or you just like store a reference to their age, like a hash of their age, and then or reference to their age on the client, like the user's phone doesn't ever touch the internet other than when you're like asking to verify information. Like you sign in with digital ID, the government ID, and then done, and then you sign into Twitter, and Twitter just asks you over like an internal like local API, is this person over 16? So that's the minimum age, and it just responds yes or no. That's it. There's no
this is very
data
Alternet
shared.
related.
No, I know. I'm just angry about my government doing dumb shit. Because I had to try and read through that documentation, and it's so poorly written. And apparently, that had a bunch of
data centers, and the intrusive thoughts I get from driving by them makes me wonder what would happen if. Oh, yeah. If we want to truly live, like you guys see the state of the world and the way it's getting, like if we want to, and there was a common saying that the internet was the last bastion of freedom. It really does not have that name anymore. And if we want to live in a free society, then we need to guarantee freedom somehow. There's got to be a way.
But you should just real quick. Also, the specific algorithm that I want to use for distributed hash tables, Cademelia, how I fucking pronounce it. It's used to currently. It's how magnet links work for discovering files on ITP. It's how node discovery in the Ethereum blockchain network stack is used, and it's like uses its own like modified implementation. Overnet, which is a C library for handling it, it's now discontinued. God damn it. Mainline DHT, which is the DHT for BitTorrent for trackerless torrents. That's interesting. So it's used already by people like like IFPS, IPFS, OpenDHT, which is like a provide like it's a implementation of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's used by like file sharing networks already, and it's fast.
Yeah, then it
So
sounds like it's a good option then. Did you ever, because remember very early on I was telling you about refraction networking, did you ever actually look into refraction networking?
I looked at it briefly, but it didn't stick in my brain, so I gotta look at it again.
Because I was gonna ask you, like, kind of how you feel about that still, because I don't know, like, as far as there is gonna be it's gonna be semi single points of failure. The problem is it's going to require the efforts of like enterprises, of universities, of big ISPs, and of not big ISPs, it can even be small ISPs, but it's going to require the effort of ISPs, the effort of universities, and all these different people to run like refraction stations.
Right.
Which,
Let me just Google it.
then you have to think what's in it for them. And then you have to, like, it's the whole idea of like, you can't just build this shit on altruism.
Oh yes,
And then it's
no, I remember.
semi-centralized because if those people go down, it's kind of fucked. But refraction networking does look like a really strong option.
Right. User requests a block site, client software requests a reachable site, sensor allows the request to pass through, and then the ISP partner refracts a request to the block site. So let me see. It's like a proxy, kind of.
Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Mm.
Can we start?
Rather than trying to
Can
hide
we
individual
start transferring HTML via carrier pigeon?
I mean, what's the like average return time on that? Like 3 days?
There was actually a proposed
3 days.
what's it called? There was a proposed RFC or some shit, I think it was, where it actually is like carrier pigeon network.
So let me look. Rather than trying to hide individual proxies from sensors, refraction brings. So proxy is like the functionality of the network rather than having to communicate a proxy then to access.
I found it. IP over avian carriers. Under RFC 1149. Oh man.
So looks like, but like to run refraction network, you're gonna need access to like the most insane fucking network hardware. And
example of a man in the middle attack. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to lock in. If you watch my stream and you see the picture, I just pulled.
Hang on, let me pull up.
Man in the middle attack.
Oh, man. Oh, is there a man standing in the middle?
It's.
Watching the stream. I'm logged in with my board account. Hang on. Board.
Luckily I can. Okay, hold on. Can a digital bill of rights come into fruition? How would it be
Probably
enforced? I mean, yes, it can, but how would it be enforced?
You need some form of
government to enforce.
You need a government funded independent organization outside of partisan overreach. So the way it's being handled
by the
here
way,
is
impossible.
which is the anti-corruption, like it's like the Australian Consumer Anti-Corruption Commission. And they basically, like, the government got caught doing a bunch of corruption, and they just basically went in and said, "Yep, you're all fucking breaking the law. Here's a bunch of fines you have to pay." And
here's
a bunch
the thing
of, like,
about those: free from partisan, whatever is just not possible because it's ran by people, and those people who get hired on are gonna obviously have their views. It's not.
Well, like the country, yeah.
Can we start?
Different political systems.
How do you plan on connecting to the internet without ISPs? We're not replacing ISPs.
Well, no. The idea is to just like mask your traffic, basically.
We're not remaking the entire fucking internet. We're remaking the web. We're making a new web.
I do plan, like in if Alternet version 2, whenever that fucking happens, is to like allow support for high bandwidth Wi-Fi routers to act in like what were known as mesh locals, which are like local networks, like mesh networks that are running specifically on hardware and not, and then you connect to the internet from that using like a dedicated high bandwidth link. So if you wanted to, with a bunch of friends in your neighborhood, if you wanted to, you could just set up a bunch of routers with like running OpenWRT, OpenWrt,
That is an
running what's known
idea
as,
worth exploring in the future,
and
I
then it
think.
runs what's known as the Batman protocol, which is
The
hilarious. It's
Batman protocol.
BATMAN,
Yeah.
and it allows you to run these massive mesh networks over high bandwidth. You can do like gaming and streaming, and it has a decently low ping.
What are your
And we could
opinions on
run
Worker W? What is Worker W? I don't know what that is. 9 packets of data, 55% loss.
That's like a whole
Internet
3.5
gangs, that's how it's enforced. We just send the internet mafia on your ass. Oh man, the fucking... Nah, that's crazy. Okay, so let me go back. I am full screened in this right now. Where
gangs, bro. This isn't VR chat. Man, that game.
Okay. So as far as this goes, you have an example DNS record. Higher bandwidth for optimized. This is when you're talking about CJNS kind of type of splitting.
Yeah, that's at the bottom of the notes. Hang on, that's
HT function. I mean, sounds like, yeah, okay. From all that I'm reading, this actually does sound. I think there's some missing parts though. Like there's some big kind of gaps in this plan right now. But I definitely think that this is like a kind of a early skeleton of what this is going to be. Not a terror. We're really going to need to figure out quick, like masking quick, because that's going to be fucking terrible.
And also deep. So I want to try and use WireGuard in some capacity to help with encryption of the packets, because if
VPNs are banned. Haven't you heard?
Well, just as a method of signing the packets, I guess.
Yeah, no, I was joking.
Yeah. So if someone tries to query an Alternet node, but they're not signed with the right keys, it just drops the packet like it was never there. So it'll be interesting to see how we do that. Handle that cryptography, and I'll have to talk to my algorithmic nerd friends.
You need to eventually. I mean, there is no time limit, but eventually, you really should find a guy you want to bring on.
Oh yeah,
do you at least have some ideas in mind of maybe who you're planning to bring on?
I have a couple of ideas in mind. One guy is a crack trust dev, did years and years building like decentralized federated systems on top of blockchain, but he also has really good algorithm and cryptography knowledge because of that.
He sounds like a good option. That Wi-Fi mesh net idea is really cool. Would take pretty long time to reach critical mass adoption though. That whole thing you were talking about, the whole Batman thing, was just like, us yapping though. That's not.
Yeah, it would be like an add-on almost, like just a version that can run in Docker on a router that runs OpenWrt. Like you'd run a Raspberry Pi with a fucking big high band.
Sky says /e-wave.
But yeah, the idea would be, Wi-Fi mesh networks.
You did not acknowledge this.
If you manage to get like your whole neighborhood on board doing that, you could essentially run, like if you want to do like file sharing or video sharing without having to go through an ISP, you could do that. Like you completely avoid it completely. And then if you wanted to have like a connection to the net, like to the internet, you could run a tunnel. And then people can opt in and opt out of using it.
Whoa. Shit.
Or you could use or if you could go the cursed route and you could link Batman networks together over the internet, but that would be fucked. That's a whole different system. But that would be like
I'm actually sitting here trying to read your shit, but then you're over here yapping about.
Right, sorry. Yeah.
God, IPv6 like identifiers. Oh no. IPs are going to be unreadable.
That's fine though, because you're just gonna. It doesn't really matter. IPs already are
Become
unreadable. What do you mean? It's just numbers. It's just numbers, bro.
become ungovernable. Become your own ISP.
Well, because then node addresses can then be derived by public keys, and if you're dealing with IPv4, it's just like.
You know how we should run Alternet? Raven should just like become an ISP. And just
yeah, but then you're gonna have to install one of those black boxes that connects directly to the NSA and report all traffic that goes through it. That's a fun little side fact. You know, your ISP does that.
AI generate fake traffic for them to look at.
Oh god, and just fill it with noise, just like Perlin noise.
Oh, here's Kid
I
Amelia.
think it's numbers. It's just more cursed numbers. Honestly, it's like reading IPv6 subnets is like putting a gun in the roof of your mouth and tasting the metal. I had to deal with it when setting up a server, and I did not like it. You just use a subnet calculator though; it's not like the worst thing in the world.
Cat Amelia sounds pretty cool.
So you can UDP. We would use Quick instead.
Ooh. All right. Well, I think is there anything more we have to talk about or like show off and like discuss on this stream, or do you think we're about wrapped up here?
We're about wrapped up. We got like the
I think
starting
we got
point
the
of
meat of yeah. We got a good starting point going so far, dude.
Well, this is how you build systems. You figure out what you can use, and then you argue about how it's going to work, and then you come up with a concrete plan. And you got to think about all the edge cases too, because like we have to figure out exactly how everything's going to work. Like, I'm probably getting on a call with you and break that down, or do it on stream for 5 hours straight, because that's usually how long that takes, or 2 days, or 3 days, however long it takes. Like figure out exactly every like edge case path, everything that can happen, and then we're gonna figure out a solution for it.
I think we would probably do a mix of both on and off stream discussions about this. Plus, you're gonna be bringing on that guy to help you soon too.
Yes,
that'll be great for this. As far as oh yeah, there is one more thing we forgot to mention to them. So these alternate streams homework, you want to start doing them bi-weekly, right?
Yeah, because that gives me more time to like actually put something more concrete together, as well as like talk and communicate with you on actually designing and planning, and then we get on the stream and discuss the news. Basically, it's like news bi-weekly with an Australian at 9:30 in the morning. Woohoo!
Well, then we're gonna start. You guys can start expecting these streams to become bi-weekly, so that way, like he said, we have more time. And
yeah.
Minus that, I think we are about wrapped up here. Questions time. If you guys have any last questions before we like end the stream, do you guys have any like questions? How much will Alternet become resistant to censorship? Well, it's kind of a hard question to answer.
Hard question to answer without stress testing the network.
We are going to try to make Alternet as resistant to censorship as possible. And the idea of how we're going to do it is twofold. One, we're going to try to blend in with regular HTTPS. But then two, we're going to also try to entangle ourselves in a way where the only way to block Alternet is to also damage the regular web in the process.
So you have to block 443 to block it, basically.
Exactly. We want to make it so that you can block Alternet, but you're taking down the regular web with it. It's that idea of mutually assured destruction. Which is our leverage.
There's a way we can like wrap quick connections to make them look like regular like WebSocket connections. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure it out.
We're using the regular web that's becoming censored and everything literally as leverage. It's to prevent to keep our own survival.
Yes. Or you can just like, in GTA, of course, this isn't like, call to anything. I'm joking, I'm not gonna say anything, but not on the internet publicly. But data centers are flammable.
No, we cannot promote this. Stop.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Listen, that was just a joke. Raven nor I supports this shit.
In GTA, of course.
Oh, Jesus. In GTA, of course, yes.
In GTA 6, yeah.
What if data compression?
Well, data compression is part of the service, like providing services to you. So like Alternet, think of it like a network that handles the routing of your traffic, rather than You know, it's because when you like request when you like type in, you know, www.google.com, your router will make a request to the DNS server or whatever, like, or your computer or whatever, be like, hey, what the fuck is this IP address? Thanks. And then it returns it to you. And that's just talking to a centralized authority that controls that DNS, right? If you're smart, you'll run a server to cache that, so you don't have to fucking call it every time to reduce on traffic. But the idea is that instead of it for information,
His mic died.
Oh, my mic died?
Yeah, for a second.
What? Lol. Network noise suppression. Discord's like, stop talking. But yeah, so data compression would be the role of people providing services. Like, you know, when you like serve a website, you use gzip to minify your fucking page source, or if you're providing a, you know, data like a content stream, you have to follow specific encoding standards. If you're like providing, so like when you upload a video to YouTube, there are very specific requirements on, you know, bit rate and stuff like that. Like that's all done at the application level, not the network level. We just have to be able to support higher bandwidth traffic. One, so the network is resilient when it has multiple users, and also so that if you're requesting high bandwidth content like, you know, streaming, video games, etc., whatever, it can handle it, and you'd get the lowest ping possible.
Here's another question. Wouldn't that take mass adoption for the mutually assured destruction thing to apply? No.
No, because you're blocking the ports that Alternet uses to communicate, which is
well, even if they
443.
tried, hypothetically, if they didn't want to block the port and they were like, we're just gonna like inspect the traffic and shit, it would get to the point where they eventually need to do deep packet inspection on every packet being sent through their networks and shit, to try to detect it, which could detect Alternet, but is going to slow your network down so fucking badly. It's going to hamper the regular web pretty bad.
And if someone doxes someone, that's not up to us. Like, doxing is not necessarily an us issue. Like, not going to be able to find your IP address. The whole point of Alternet is that when you communicate as a client, you just look like the node, and like you just look like you don't. Your identity is only because it has to obviously respond to you, right? The web server, but it has to go through multiple nodes to get to you. So it's just like it masks your traffic along the way as it hops along the network.
And obviously, like, whatever service you're accessing could still have accounts and stuff if they wanted. But there's
yeah, and it's like,
you got to understand the scope of a network, right? Of a protocol. We're trying to fight censorship at the network level. All the other levels is up to the other levels, you know.
No, you can have multiple. So like, think about it this way, right? Alternet is on the same port as 443. It's not going to block access to other sites because you can still just access other sites and it'll just use that port. Because we're also going to be using IPv6 addresses space. I don't know. Think about that.
I hate IPv6, dude. The biggest reason I hate IPv6 is just because of high school, man. The classes I had to take when my networking classes, it was so bad.
You can share ports and have multiple protocols running over them. That's not
what is localhost, and you know, what is 127.0.0.1 but an IPv6, and it's 4 answers that look almost identical and they're all stupid, and it's like, oh god.
I mean, the way to get around potential like port collisions is just the device that you're accessing uses like a reverse proxy, and then it just tunnels that way. Well, when you Google Alternet, when you type in Alternet into your address bar, you'd use the // address, like, yeah, protocol identifier, whatever the fuck they call it. I don't remember.
And there's a protocol, like you said, like a little protocol identifier every time you access a website. So like WebSocket would be WS, file would be file. Alternate is going to be AN, and then it's going to be you know, your shit. That's the idea. Localhost is ::1. Is it actually for IPv6? I don't remember.
WSS is for WSS is secure WebSocket, and then just WS is like an insecure WebSocket. With SSL. But one other way you get around, like, even like some levels of like potential of one way we could try and get around it is like running the reverse proxy locally within the client's like access, however we do it, like Chrome extension and whatnot. So all traffic passes through it, and it just like reverse proxies it locally and then sends it to the network under one port.
Are you talking about how to do local host with Alternet?
Potentially. Oh no, I'm not talking about local host with Alternet. I'm talking about like when you like run a piece of software to access Alternet, like a Chrome extension. When you talk to it, it talks to it like internally on a specific port. It listens, and then when it talks to the internet, it uses 443, kind of like how reverse proxy works, but on the client but also on the web server.
There's a million ways. Alternate software secure, so it can be ass.
Yeah, I mean, you could software secure. Yeah. Kind of like split tunneling in a way, if that makes sense.
If you guys have any more questions you guys want to learn more about Alternet, you guys want to talk about this shit beyond these streams, we have a Discord server that you guys can chit chat in. And Homework's in there, he talks sometimes, and I'm in there, I'm quite active, so
if you guys respond. Yeah, top of my server list.
If you just want to ping him and ask questions or whatever, we're here. So if you guys want to come off stream eventually, after this stream, and you want to chat more about this, then we're there. And before we end the stream, I will just say, Raven, as of right now, is not in the greatest financial position. So if you guys, have the capability to, then if you want to donate, we would greatly appreciate it. By the way, dude, did you know we actually hit 100 supporters?
God damn, good shit.
We hit 100 supporters, dude.
It's free on Buy Me a
Coffee. CPB34 was the 100th donator.
Oh damn.
But anyways, if you guys don't mind, if you have a couple bucks to throw, we would certainly appreciate it. But don't feel like you need to, of course. Don't feel like you need to, because Raven, we don't like rely on donations to exist, but they do help. So just if I don't want you guys to feel like you need to donate or anything. I always hate that from orgs. That it gives me the ick, like, so bad. I hate saying the ick, like I hate saying that, but it actually just like,
I'm desperate. Please give me money. I need drugs. Oh, no, I'm joking.
It's like, please donate. We're so desperate. We're falling apart and melting unless if we get $1.
It's like itching your neck. Like, I need $2 for the bus. Give me $2 for the bus, please. That's what I feel.
That is actually, you're just describing Wikipedia.
Yeah. If you try to fucking go to that website, they're like, please, money, please.
They're like, we're falling apart and we're not gonna exist. We're turning to dust unless if you donate 50 cents. And it's like, shit.
Why don't they just like, capture the address of the person accessing this site, and then sell it to data brokers like they're interested in this. Money, man, money.
They probably already do. Well, that's the stream, fellas. We'll be on in 2 weeks then for the next alternate stream. I'm probably gonna do a Minecraft stream again soon too. So.
Oh hell yeah! Once I have better internet, I might stream stuff. I'm not sure.
Nice.
Like music production. Or something.
Oh, dude, you having like coding streams? That would be fire.
Oh my god, no.
When you're implementing it, when you're writing the code, dude, you know what we need to do? When you're writing the code, I should be in the call with you, like have your screen share up, and then we just yap while you're coding, and it's like a coding stream.
That's just sounds like my when I was working for the
that sounds fire.
We were just got a call to go whole screen shares on.
Guys, expect it. That is officially planned. I'm setting it in stone. Everyone, all 14 of you watching, expect it. We're gonna do a alternate POC coding stream. Be on the lookout.
Like I would join the call, open my screen share, start working on code. My senior would start the stream up and be like, "What are you doing? That's not right." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Yeah, you got data structures not right." I'm like, "Oh." Called out in front of the whole team. It's like,
well, my food is about to get here. Okay, dude. Before I end the stream, I just have to, dude. Actually, we have no food in my house. I looked in the pantry, I looked in the fridge. We have no milk, we have no cheese, we have no meat, we have no mayonnaise. I went in there. We had ramen noodles. We don't have ramen noodles. We don't have canned food. We don't have like fucking anything, dude. I had to order food.
Bro, flour and water. I can mix it together, make a simple dough, light a fire, bam, damper bread, fucking gas.
All right.